How we doing, guys? Welcome to another Colin's Performance Corner, and today we've got the highly anticipated Audi Q6 on the show. So this is Audi's all new electric offering. So this one has been a very big deal for Audi, because this one introduces the new interior concept that you're going to see on all the upcoming Audis. The new A5, the new Q5 is certainly going to have this interior, so I'll go over that in quite detail just so you can see all the new changes, because this is a complete change for Audi and it moves away from the traditional interior that they've been using for many years. But let's talk about the Q6. Let's take it for a drive, let's show you all this new technology, and let's see if it's any good. Right then, guys, welcome to the brand new Audi Q6. And as I said in the intro there, this car is the benchmark now currently in the Audi world. So this car has got all the new technology, it's got all the new interior, and it's got the design output on the exterior that Audi are going to follow now for pretty much all their range. Now we've seen some test and teaser footage and some official photos now of the Audi Q5, which looks very similar to that. Now that car will be staying petrol and diesel, because again, as previously stated in videos, all the even numbered cars are going to be electric and all the odd numbered cars are going to be petrol diesel hybrid. So but this one signals the first of Audi changing to a completely new architecture. So starting on the outside, you've got that nice thin headlight at the front, new digital matrix LED technology lights. You can customise the light signatures and everything on the front, which I think is quite cool, make it a wee bit more individual. You've got this new kind of single frame design with that sort of kind of 3D pattern, which is body coloured to the car. You've got the new Audi badging, of course, on the front and rear of the car, controversial in many parts of the world at the moment. And on the exterior you've got some lovely hinged lines along the side and everything like that. So it really does striking looking car. Now one of the things that you do notice is the the rear light bar is going to be prominent in pretty much all the kind of new Audis that are coming out. They've got this large central light bar that runs the full length of the car. It's all OLED, so they can do some cool stuff with that, sort of in terms of patterns and light designs and stuff like that. So pretty cool technology, and that's something that we're going to see on all the upcoming Audis. The new A5 is going to have it, and of course the Q5 is going to have it as well, and no doubtly when they replace the Q3 you're going to see the same pattern emerging. So from the exterior point of view, I think it's a nice fresh look for Audi. Yeah, it's certainly them moving the bar up, and they needed to do it, to be honest. You looked at how the competition is updating your car, and probably the biggest competitor to Audi is BMW. You look at the BMWs now and the range they have, the interior, the technology, it was leaving Audi standing behind, to be honest. When you jumped into one of our, let's call it the previous generation A5 before this new one comes out, when you jumped into the new 3 Series or 4 Series, in terms of if you wanted to buy a car based on how nice it looked inside and how modern, then the Audi was sort of kind of miles behind when it came to that. But it's good to see them updating this interior. So on that note, we'll talk about that. So completely different, massive screen, very Merc-like, let's call it. I think Mercedes were the first one to go with this sort of kind of massive integrated screen, which kind of puts the driver display and the central touch screen in one unit. Audi have went for a kind of different shape, this kind of floating look, which looks quite cool actually. I quite like it. Lots of information, if I'm honest. One thing that I'm not keen of, and again it's probably just because I'm not used to it yet, you can't have like the traditional style old virtual cockpit. So what I mean by that is in the older Audis, as you know, you could get the full screen nav behind the central dials right in front of you. Now that was good for a couple of purposes, you know, so it looked good. You know, it was, again, Audi back in, I think it was 2015, they launched it on the TT, you know, with this massive kind of map, full screen map. You could customise your dials and have the dials overlaid over the top of them. You know, it's something you've just got used to over the years. You can't do that on this Audi Q6. You have to have the sat nav on this central screen here. Now what has taken over on the central screen is this sort of kind of virtual you know, virtual display which is linked into the front camera. So basically it's like an animation that's playing. You can see the car driving, you know, the Q6, and you can see all the cars it's picking up on the road. So in front of me I've got a little display of the car it's picking up in front, and what's quite cool, it actually shows you the brake lights on the display when the car brakes as well. Now this is kind of there for the you know, the functionality for a lot of the driving assistance features, you know, which this is absolutely crammed full of. You know, this has every sort of assist going. Now with new European legislation and stuff like that, you know, cars have to have a lot of this fitted as standard now. You know, the one thing that gets automatically turned off as soon as you get in the car is the warning tone if you exceed the speed limit, which gets very, very annoying. So that just automatically gets switched off. But some of the great features you've got distraction warning, you've got fatigue warning, you've got obviously lane assist with centre assist. So basically the lane departure now kind of takes over the steering, so basically it'll keep you in the centre of the lane. So you know, you don't really need to steer. You need to keep your hands on the wheel, of course, but you know, the car will take over the front camera system. It's very, very sophisticated, and it incorporates it well into the augmented reality. I don't know if I'm saying that, augmented reality. You know what I mean? It's basically the new heads-up display. So traditional heads-up display, of course, beams the information up onto the windscreen, your speed limits, your speed that you're doing, you know, sat nav data. But this one takes it one step further. So basically it projects it onto the road. Now obviously the computer's doing that in a way so, you know, when you're looking at it from this angle, you're getting the arrows and stuff, and the speed limit is actually projected onto the road in front of you. It's very, very clever. So if you've got the sat nav on, you know, it starts beaming the arrows onto the ground to show you which junction to take off, for instance, or what way you're going to be turning next. The lane departure warning, for instance, the red line will appear on the on the road in line with the white line to again show you that it's because it's pulling you back into the centre lane because, you know, the lane assist's working. So it's very, very clever. You know, I quite like it actually. It's you know, it's very modern. It's, yeah, it's quite good. I really, really like it, and it's something that you know, they brought out on the Q4. The augmented reality was brought out on the Q4, but you know, they've made it one step better in the Q6. So yeah, no, I really like it. It's a very, very nice feature. So some of the other interior changes inside that are quite cool. Now this one that I'm driving is the launch edition, so this one's pretty much crammed full of everything. So, you know, this one has the passenger screen, which is going to be an option on pretty much all the models. So if the passenger wants to control the media and other functions of the car, the sat nav, they can do that with their own screen over there. It can be linked up to Apple CarPlay and Android, so the passenger could watch videos and such like, and it's got the kind of special tint on the screen so the driver can't be distracted by that. Quite cool. You know, it means that your passengers can be entertained while the driver just does basically the main duty, which is driving, I suppose. But there's no distraction there. And it's got a clever sound system. Again, it's something that Audi have had on something like the RE and stuff like that. It's got speakers in the headrests of the car. Now this one has the comfort sound pack, or you know, which gives you the Bang & Olufsen sound system, which has got the better sound system. But the great thing about it is, you know, if you're taking a call right here, you can actually take the call without the passenger really hearing what the other person's saying, but you can hear it completely due to the speakers in the headrests. Really, really cool. Same with the passenger side. We were talking about the screen there. If the passenger's watching something on the screen, they can hear the media on their side, but the driver can be listening to something completely different on their side. Sound technology is fascinating, but yeah, no, I mean, considering that we're not even sitting, you know, half a metre away from each other, you know, that's pretty cool. You know, that's something that you know, is proper technology in this car, and you know, yeah, it's really good. So, what other things we got? We've got this lovely, this is new, Alcantara, kind of quilted Alcantara finish on the dash here. I think it's nice. It's different, it's better than a solid bit of cheap carbon fibre, fake carbon fibre. I think it looks pretty cool. You've got more of this kind of, you know, Alcantara, you know, fake Alcantara of course, but nice and premium feeling. You know, you've got pretty much this cockpit style of buttons across here on the driver's side, which is basically for controlling all the mirrors, memory seats, and everything like that. It's a bit chunky, if I'm honest. It's something like, when you naturally get in, it's something that's, I've noticed is, I'm not really like, when you get in the car and you want to shut the door, there's nowhere to put your hand. You know, there is a wee slot down here, but it's the last place that you want to actually grab the door. You want to grab it up here, and there's nowhere to go, you can't really grab it here. So yeah, it's a wee bit of a clunky design, if I'm honest, but again, it's probably just because we're not used to it is the main reason. It's got the steering wheel, it's got a combination of things I like and a combination of things I don't like. We'll start with the don't like first. It's got the touch sensitive buttons out the Q4 or the new Golf Mark 8 if you've ever been in one of them. Oh, just give me a normal button. I don't like them. They're just, as we found with the Golf Mark 8, you know, they eventually get stuck, and you know, they stop working, and yeah, I just can see it being a bit of a problem in 2 or 3 years time when the car's had a bit of use. Thing I do like, flat top and flat bottom steering wheel. Really like that design. It somehow really suits the car, to be honest. This is something that's going to be coming on a lot of the new Audis. The new RS3 has got this new flattened top to bottom steering wheel, you know, which was introduced on the Audi Q4. But I really like it. I think it's a nice design. It's nice to hold. It makes the steering wheel feel a little bit smaller as well, rather than this big massive circular thing. Flat bottom steering wheels have always been popular, but again, Audi are going now with the flat top, so quite cool. Central console down here, all pretty sort of kind of standard. Cup holders, your buttons for your putting it into your drive, your battery saver mode, one for your cameras, your driver assistance button, which is easy to go in and quickly turn some stuff off. I like how the vents are down here underneath the dashboard. It really is you know, it's that kind of subtle design rather than being up high. It makes them sort of kind of able to put the screen that runs right across there. The seats are brilliant. You know, these remind me of the super sport seats that you get in the S and RS models. Really comfortable, really nice finish with the leather and the diamond stitch and everything as well. Love the badging behind it with the S and the sort of just below the headrest. They're fully electric, of course, 14-way adjustable, and they also have massage function. Well, this particular one has massage function. It would be depending on the model that you went for. The launch editions have got pretty much everything, so you know, they have the massage seats in them. The trim levels that are going to be available, it's going to be the usual. So Sport will be your entry level model. You'll probably not get the big dual screen or anything like that standard on it. You'll then get your S-Line model, which will give you a little more sporty aesthetics. You then get your Edition 1 model, which comes with all the central double dual screen and everything like that, and it'll look mostly like this car. The launch edition is effectively just an Edition 1 with a few of the packs and stuff on it, so like the Sound and Comfort pack and Tech pack and stuff like that. So yeah, it really is you know, a nice spec car when you get up to that trim level. Of course, you've got your massive big panoramic roof, again standard on the Edition 1. Really nice. It can be opened and everything as well. It really brings a lot of light into the car, because it's quite a dark interior. Audi aren't really kind of a big fan of letting you choose interior colours in the UK. You know, you got a choice of black and grey, so you know, whatever was the lesser of two evils. But certainly the panoramic roof lets a lot of light into the car. Yeah, no, I really like it inside. It's you know, one of the biggest changes, and this is how it's going to look in all the Audis going forward. So yeah, I'm pretty impressed. Right, so what sort of battery performance have we got on this? So this one uses the new architecture, which is shared with Porsche, of course. This car is fundamentally going to be based on the new electric Macan that Porsche also just launched as well. So this one is available in a couple of different battery sizes depending if you're having Quattro or non-Quattro. The majority of people in the UK are going to have the Quattro one, to be honest. This one is the Quattro. So this one has the 100 kilowatt hour battery in it, so slightly bigger than the old battery that you got in the Q8 E-tron. So this one is kind of similar battery, but they've just kind of, you know, they've went for a wee bit more of a you know, usable range. So this one has a usable range, you know, of round about 90 kilowatt hours, which is pretty good, to be honest. So depending on obviously what you're going to average will depend on the range you get. Now the book quoted range on this particular battery is up to 380 miles of range. Having driven that car for a while now, this particular one, you know, your average miles per kilowatt driving it sort of kind of normally is kind of round about 3.2 is kind of what I'm getting. And now I drive an electric car daily. I've got the old version of the E-tron with a 93 kilowatt hour battery in it. Now the E-tron was a lot heavier than this car. You know, it's one of the things that it was sort of kind of, you know, criticised for, was the weight of the car, and it's why the range maybe wasn't as good as it should have been for the size of battery that was in the car. But this one, you know, if I'm getting 3.2, you times that by 90, you know, it's about 300 miles of range. So not quite the 380 that you know, Audi are claiming that you're going to get real world. Now I can see it being possible. I mean, to get close to that, you would need to average 4 miles per kilowatt. Which I can see you doing in the summer, to be honest. You know, we're now sort of kind of getting into the kind of autumny winter time. You know, outside temperatures in Scotland are sort of kind of averaging, you know, 7-8 degrees outside. So yeah, I mean, the range is never going to be as good as you're going to get in the summer at 20 odd degrees. So I can see it being possible, but you know, unless you're driving it like an absolute granny, I can't see you getting 4 miles per kilowatt. And I mean, I do the sort of journey that you would expect as being the prime electric car journey, you know, town driving with a bit of country driving, not a lot of dual carriageway at all. So you know, I would expect it to be getting kind of what, you know, real world, you know, kind of driving and analytics would tell you. So, but I mean, to be honest, I mean, even if you are getting 300 miles range, it's still pretty good. You know, there's most of the kind of the best electric cars in the market are in that 300 plus mile range bracket, up to about 350. So, you know, for somebody that really is want to be an anorak and get that, you know, drive it to get the 380, that's pretty good. You know, we're getting up to the realms of range now that people are going to be going, you know what, that's not an inconvenience. But to be honest, 90% of the UK, you know, would suit an electric car. They just think they don't. You know, they think about that one journey that they do once a year or once every couple of years that they might have to stop and charge it somewhere and think, oh, that's no for me. But you know, if you looked at it for what 99% of your journeys would be, you know, it would suit everybody perfectly, especially with that range and the convenience of being able to charging it at home. So on to charging then. So of course the car can be charged pretty much up to 350 kilowatts in terms of power. There's not many of those chargers in the UK, to be honest. I think the highest power charger you'll find is probably 300 kilowatt. A lot of the sort of kind of ultra super fast chargers are sort of 250 kilowatts. You know, we'll charge this car in 20 minutes. So charging not you know, it can charge anywhere. It's got the AC onboard boosters. You can charge up to 22 kilowatts on an AC connector. There's not many people going to be doing that out and about, to be honest. If you're going to be charging it out and about, you're more likely going to be charging it at an ultra fast charger, because you're going to be doing 99% of your charging at home on your home 7.2 kilowatts and just keeping it topped up pretty much every night that you go home and plug it in. So yeah, nothing too exciting to tell you on that front, certainly. So let's actually talk about the actual drive of the car. So how does this feel on the road? So as you would expect, very, very quiet. This car is probably one of the quietest of all Audi's electric cars in terms of, you know, the E-tron, for instance, had a lot of sort of kind of whirring noises that came from the motor when you accelerated. You don't get that in this car. It's pretty much completely silent when you accelerate. You obviously get a tiny wee bit of road noise from the tyres, but I think you just notice that more because the car is so quiet inside. You know, if you've got sort of kind of the music on at a low volume, you're not going to hear that drone for the tyres, to be honest. But that's something you're always going to get. You know, it's friction, it's science, there's always going to be noise. There's always going to be a bit of noise from the road surface into the car, but it is very, very quiet. So yeah, in terms of big tick in that bit here. In terms of comfort, the car, obviously this one has the air suspension and everything on it as well, so this one drives great. Now you can obviously get versions with the normal coil spring suspension on them as well, which do drive extremely well as well. With the air suspension on them, certainly drives like a dream. Really, really nice over the bump, really, really comfortable. It really is a great car to drive. You know, it's something that I noticed right away when I jumped inside it. It really is comfortable, and I think the seating position's lovely as well. You've got great view and great vision of the road. The great thing about the screen is it sits low enough that, you know, if you want to look completely straight, it's not in your eye line, which is quite good as well. And you know, everything's accessible. You know, the touchscreen is at an arm's length. I'm not quite enamoured on the screen yet, and I think it's because it's a new media system and I don't know where everything is yet, so I feel that I'm distracted by it sometimes, but that's because I don't know where everything is. Once I get used to it, I think, you know, I'll be able to sort of, without looking, be able to kind of put my finger where it's wanting to go. So in terms of ergonomics, everything's in the right place, great driving position. You know, everything's nice and low down as well, which kind of gives you that feeling of spaciousness inside the car. It feels like a big car. Legroom in the back's extremely well as well, again because this car's built on its own platform. It doesn't share it with any of its petrol siblings. It's a completely flat floor, so you've got lots of legroom in the back, lots of comfort in there, and you can get your feet under the seat nice as well. So, you know, it's been designed for comfort, it's been designed as an electric car, which you notice. Boot space is fantastic as well, again completely acceptable for what you would expect this size of car to be, comparable with Audi Q5. I would probably say even a wee bit bigger than the current Audi Q5. So, you know, in terms of all that kind of stuff, nice big deep door pockets, and that down here you've got storage under the seats as well, which is great. So, you know, Audi kind of thinking about that kind of, you know, family orientation now, which is something they kind of ignored in a lot of the previous cars, that they didn't have a lot of storage. But, you know, nice big glove box. It has got all that, you know, sort of kind of storage inside the car, which is good to see. You know, it's something that Audi really needed to do. So what's the performance like in this now? Again, electric car, the performance is always going to be great. There's not really many electric cars in the market now that don't have good performance. You know, you've got 400 odd horsepower at your disposal. You know, 0 to 60s, you know, 5.4 seconds. You know, it's kind of the things that, you know, it's kind of old hat on an electric car now. Nobody really cares about what the 0 to 60 is. Unless you're buying something, you know, a proper electric performance car like the E-tron GT Performance, which has just been launched at 920 brake horsepower. Absolutely crazy, you know, not that it needed that sort of power, but they decided to give it anyway. But, you know, this car, you've got to look at the kind of, you know, person that's going to buy this car. It's going to be family orientated. Performance is probably going to be down the list of what they're looking for, but the great thing is it's got the response, it's got the power there if you absolutely need it, it's got the quattro, you know, it ticks all that box. Obviously no gearbox whatsoever, it doesn't have any gears because it's electric, of course. It does have a battery saver mode, so you can put it in a B and control a bit of the regeneration more off the throttle, to sort of kind of help you kind of use as little as you can. But you can also adjust the, you know, the regeneration of the paddles, which I prefer to do, to be honest. I do a lot of my braking using the paddles, just plus and minus, just slowing the car down that way, so I rarely touch the brake pedal until the very, very last minute, where I just need to, maybe if I need to stop to a complete stop, I'll have to just push that pedal a wee bit to stop it. But you know, that's a nice efficient way to drive an electric car, using the regeneration to slow it down, which will recover a lot of that energy back in. So yeah, pretty good. So what's the overall thoughts of the new Audi Q6? What do I think? Because I think this car is a good launch base for the generations of the next Audis coming up. And I would say yes. If all the new Audis that are coming out drive like this, fantastic. If the refinement inside looks as good as this, because this is a really, really nicely refined car inside, tick. You know, again, very, very, very nice. Now, this will be a different price point to a lot of cars coming up, so we'll see obviously how the build quality is in reference to the plastics and stuff used. But I would rate this car absolutely. I think this is a fantastic car for Audi. I think it's in general a fantastic car in general. So, would I buy one? I probably would. Would I buy one brand new? Again, if you got a good PCP deal where you weren't at risk at any depreciation and it had a guaranteed value, absolutely the best way to buy an electric car if you're a private individual. As ever, most people that are going to buy this car will probably put it through a company or a business, just because again it's the best way to do it for the tax savings. But again, it's going to be, you know, private individuals using those cars, and I think they're going to be really, really impressed with this car, and you know, I certainly give it my seal of approval. So yeah, so like I says, great car, great drive, lovely interior. Pretty much we'll leave it there. So hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. If you have enjoyed it, then please leave a like on the video, leave any comments for any questions that you may have for me. I'll always answer any questions that you may have, and obviously feel free to subscribe to the channel. It does help me in the hopefully going forward, where I can maybe put a wee bit more time aside to try and you know, make a bit of a better quality video for you as well, because you know, my videos have been sort of kind of very samey, but you know, I'm trying to build that sort of kind of, you know, that base up where I can try and spend a wee bit more time in the showroom during the day, doing a wee bit more sort of kind of shorter videos in terms of some of the new models that have just came out. But I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll speak to you all soon.